Go ahead, AM.
Hello, hello. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been here, so I'll give a quick introduction. My name
Pretty
is
please.
Austin. I'm from Los Angeles. I've been trading ICT for going about 3 years now. Uh, my preferred model is like market maker model. I just see it in everything. I think every other encompass and model kind of presents itself inside that framework. So that's kind of the way I use it as a framework, a guide in price action and trading. Honestly, today's lecture was pretty fascinating. I haven't been on the markets for around 2 weeks now, 3 weeks. I've been on a little break. And coming back, I always remember the FOMC days were kind of that day where nothing goes to plan and everything is always a little bit difficult and back and forth. And being a part of Michael's lecture today kind of helped show that and remind myself of what it's like. To anybody new, it's just not a daily trade. Just skip it. You don't need to trade every day, honestly. I learned that one the hard way when I first started. I do have a question though for Michael. While I was gone, I was listening to a lot of X Spaces, and when you mention your grid lines for price, you taught us gradient levels. These are horizontal grid lines, and a grid not only has horizontal grid lines but vertical grid lines. You mentioned that the vertical grid lines are time. What I referenced by that was session times, kill zone times, macro times. However, um, I was kind of curious on if those vertical lines may not only refer to or may not refer to those macro times or kill zone times, but may refer to maybe your logo or any other Fibonacci sequence or anything like that.
There are things in time that I was very honest and told you all as a community that I would not divulge all of that stuff. But if you just stick to the macro times and the session opens and in the lunch hour delineations, they will be enough to serve you. But yes, there's other things that I won't teach that I use when it comes to time.
Okay. And then I'm assuming you don't have to say that. Is it your logo or if I can pry a little bit more out of you?
It has something to do with it.
Right,
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Hey, I really appreciate our time warriors when they come up and they're looking for the keys to unlock time. I mean, we've had quite a few time warriors here in the Trader Roundup space. I would even argue most of the folks here, time is one of their primary emphases. And I think that's a great thing. So as traders, as ICT based traders, that emphasis on time is a great thing. And I think it's something that you could and should constantly explore with where and how your model is actuating in the market.
If I can be somewhat assertive on this topic at the moment, I want you to think about what I was showcasing today over live price action. I don't know how many people were watching, but I'm sure there's at least 10. So if we're looking at price action and everything I talked about had zero reference to time, all we were looking at was this price action and liquidity. So if you got to the skill set level of being able to do what was shown today, staying with one side of the marketplace, not being lulled into wanting to go short, and focusing on the things that I highlighted, and that's all you were ever able to accomplish, not requiring any element of time, except for it's the time of day where this type of thing can form, but no real specific or scientific, hierarchy beyond that. Would that be failure, or would you not be satisfied with something like just like today? Like I have students that sometimes they cuss me out in the emails. They say I'm a fraud because I won't teach that part. That doesn't make a fraud. It makes someone that says, I told you in the beginning, I'm not going to teach you everything. And that's the line. I'm not going to cross that line. And I understand and I appreciate the enthusiasm. It keeps coming up, but I'm not going to breach that line. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to go beyond it. I'm not going to tip my toe over the water a little bit and say, okay, I'll give you a little bit more. I'm not going to do that. And I don't want you to be mad at me because I've been honest and told you I wasn't going to teach all that. But what I have taught is light years, no pun intended, above everything else out there. And you don't need everything that I'm not willing to teach you, because I have you in the same place where a lot of those things are going to do it anyway, but you're not worrying about the aspect of time. You're just looking at what is price doing when it should move. And do these PD arrays support that logic? Because that's what this language has afforded you, a way of understanding things that I am not going to teach entirely. You don't have to know why the things are performing exactly as they are in the chart. Think about it. What's actually occurring in price action, because it ain't buying and selling pressure. Why is it that these inefficiencies are my PD arrays? Why is it behaving in a way where when it's bullish, it stays in the upper half and doesn't allow a body in the lower half? You don't need to know what that is. You just need to know that that's what you look for, right? It's equivalent to my wife. She doesn't know how the engine starts up in her car. She just knows when she gets in, she pushes the button, it should start up. If it doesn't, she texts me and says, "Can I use another car?" That's the extent of her concern. You are doing the same thing in price action. Is the price telling you that you should expect it to continue going in one direction? And as long as it's doing that, you don't have to complicate anything. What I showed today is how simple it can be when you allow it to be. When you start heaping on all these extra things, can you manage all that extra information? Because the things I have to deal with time, many of you would choke on it because it's a lot. It is a lot. And many of you think that if you had it, it would help you. You would go crazy with it because I was on the edge of that. So just know that it's not necessary. And I wish people would backpedal away from that topic, because I'm never going to cross it, and I'm never going to give you what you're asking for when it comes to that.
And I mean, and to Michael's point, we have more than enough. More than enough.